Should a man pay on a date? Hi my love, it's Magda K here. Welcome to my channel, the place for you to get all the tips, insights and techniques to enjoy the most fulfilling, intimate life. Today I will be answering the burning question, whether a man should pay on a date. Now, I will give you the answer right away, but you have to promise to stay till the end because things aren't so black and white in life and there are a few nuances that you need to understand. Deal? So, the short answer to whether a man should pay on a date or not is yes. But stay with me because I will also tell you what to do when money is the issue and also how to make sure that a woman isn't just using you for money. So paying on a date comes from these traditional gender roles where a man provides and financially supports a woman. Now, looking at the current society where we practically remove those gender roles, we have more independent women. You may wonder, is this still true for us? But if you ask women, a lot of them still want to be treated by a man. And when you ask men, a lot of men still want to feel like a man. So I understand that in times of feminism and strong independent career women, a lot of this type of Miss Independent boss babes, this may feel like a woman doesn't want you to do it. But trust me, you'd be surprised by how many women still would love for you to pay for them. Because even the most independent, successful women really want to surrender to a man. In fact, I would say that if she's in her masculine energy throughout the day, that she is longing to have a man in her life with whom she can just relax, let you take charge, and for her just feel like a woman. Now, I understand there are a few challenges with this. First of all, what if you don't have so much money and paying for dates is a bit of an issue? Or maybe you go on a lot of dates. That's pretty common with dating apps these days. So maybe you don't want to have to pay every single time. And lastly, what about all those gold diggers? Like, what to do with those women that are just there for the free dinner? Okay, so let's look at this. I'm gonna share with you a few tips how to manage these situations. So first of all, especially if it's a first or a second date, I don't even think that you should be doing anything that would cost a lot of money. So go for coffee that costs just a few dollars or go for a walk. There's so many things you can do together that do not require you to open your wallet. So this is really good to solve the problem about money. It will also help you see whether she just decided to meet with you to get that free coffee or if she wants to get to know you. Now, another thing to look for is that if you do pay, how does she react? So does she say thank you? Is she actually grateful or is she entitled and thinks that you should just pay for her and all she's gonna do is just be there, sit there and be pretty? Now, here is another thing, and I think this is personally my favorite tip. So it's a little thing you can say when you do pay. So imagine that you're going for dinner and you're paying for this dinner. So you can pay and say, let me get this one and you can treat me to a dessert later. Or let's say you're paying for coffee. Again, you can say, let me get this one and you can treat me to coffee next time we meet. What you're doing by saying this little phrase, by the way, make sure you're playful and not super serious when you say this, but what you're doing is you're letting her know that you're happy to provide, you're happy to pay, but you want some level of contribution from her as well. Doesn't have to be equal, but you want to feel appreciated and you want to see an effort from her as well. Personally, as a woman, I love when a man pays for me, and I'm not just talking about dates. So I'm quite traditional, I love chivalry, and I actually think we could really get a bit more of those traditional values. So for me, when I meet with a man and he pays for me, he immediately gets extra points. Because this kind of a man allows me to soften and just feel like a woman in his presence. Now, I never take it for granted, I'm always very grateful, and I will be happy to reciprocate. But I do believe that it's something really beautiful, and especially in our times, where we talk so much about equality, and then, we're just gonna evenly split the bill. if you offer to pay for a date, you actually stand out. And because so many women miss that, when you do this, she is really going to value you more and respect you more. So you're getting extra point in the whole dating game. Now, we do gotta talk about a woman who would get offended if you offered to pay. So this is something I did hear from a lot of men. They went on a date, they wanted to pay, and she got really angry at them. So now they're scared to offer, even though they actually would like to treat the woman that they're out with. So what do you do in these situations? So I'll start by saying this. If a woman has difficulties with you paying for dinner or paying for coffee, it says something about her ability to receive. Now, this is important for you because you need to understand what type of a woman and dynamic you want. If you want a woman who is receptive to your gifts and your help and assistance, then you actually do want to be able to filter whether this woman is open to you doing things for her. So if she cannot receive a coffee, in a way, it's a red flag. Now, here's another thing that you can say. If you like a woman and maybe she seems a bit independent, so you don't want to offend her and you want to be a bit more mindful, here's something you can say. So imagine you're out, you're having this coffee, and you can say, I know you can get this coffee yourself, but it would give me pleasure to get it for you. Now, phrase like this is playful. It respects the fact that, yes, she is independent and can take care of herself. Now, if that is still disrespectful to her, I would honestly say move on, because that is a massive red flag. And I'll say this as a general rule. If you want a relationship in which a woman surrenders to you and you get to lead and be a bit more in charge, then actually paying on a date is a great way to filter the right woman. So I think it's better to risk upsetting the Miss Independent that you don't want to date anyways, than upsetting a woman with whom you actually potentially could form a beautiful relationship. And look, I want to finish with this one thing. Again, I am more traditional, so I'm just talking about myself, but I'll tell you this. If I go out on a date and I like the guy and he doesn't want to pay for coffee, that's a red flag for me, because I want a man to be there for me when I need him. You know, women do judge you as a potential father for their children. So they want a man who will be willing to provide for them. So if spending few dollars for coffee is already a problem, this also communicates something. So just be mindful of all these little nuances of what kind of message you're sending to a woman that you're on a date with by paying or not paying for the date. It comes down to what kind of a woman you want, what kind of a relationship you want, and make sure that you're establishing these expectations from the beginning. I hope you get value from this video, and I would love to hear from you. What do you think about paying on a date? And do you have a story where maybe you offered to pay and you were not received? Or maybe you didn't pay and she got offended? So I would love to hear from you. Make sure to comment in the section below. And my love, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel to get more videos like that. Plus, make sure to connect with me on Instagram. I share a lot of personal details there as well. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next week.